right. That one defining moment. Las Vegas BMX'er Tracer Finn was well known for his jumping skills, but you could say that it was the Finn family showmanship that brought BMX action publisher Bob Osborne to Sin City. Their goal? To shoot one of the most incredible hot shots in BMXA history. After a failed attempt to jump the fountains at Caesar's Palace, Tracer knew they had to come up with something spectacular. Thus, in the wee hours of the morning, in a complete rebel run, they wheeled out his father's vaudeville piano in front of the Union Plaza Hotel and quickly transformed the entrance of the casino into a one-of-a-kind obstacle. Using a sawhorse and 2 4x8 sheets of plywood, they rigged together one of the sketchiest ramps ever jumped. Tracer wasn't sure how much speed he'd have to carry in order to clear everybody, and went big. As his father ducked, his stepmom pointed to the sky, and his brother's girlfriend sang with a banjo. Tracer skyrocketed over the Wurlitzer and into BMX infamy. That image would be immortalized over many a BMXer's bedroom wall. And what followed has been a lifetime of involvement as a racer, bike shop owner, race promoter, and factory team manager. Join us in welcoming your 2014 Pioneer inductee into the BMX Hall of Fame, the pride of Las Vegas, Tracer Finn.
All right. Welcome to the All Things BMX show, live from the RITN studios here in the busy metropolis of Heartland, Michigan. Hope you guys are all having fun this evening and excited for our show. This is episode 31, Viva Las Vegas, with our special guest, Hall of Famer, Tracer Finn. Tracer, how are you?
Excellent.
And very excited to have you on. Looking forward to the show. And your story is awesome. So very, very excited. As always, I'm your host, Justin Tompkins, longtime BMXer and lover of all things BMX, along with our other host, Mr. Chris Beer. Chris, I appreciate you taking times away from the family and those alpacas that you sent us the pictures of out there that you were feeding.
Yes, did you put those in the show, babe?
I may or may not have, but if not, those pictures will be up. So there is proof. Chris has alpacas.
Yep, he sent the proof, too.
He did. You sent it.
Actually, it was a llama.
The next thing is we're going to...
named it, too.
Yeah, he did.
No, that's just... Never mind.
You're digging a bigger hole, brother.
Dude, I'm just going to be quiet now.
Yeah. So next we're going to get proof of that helicopter. And we have Paul Remington. He is the sound engineer hanging out, monitoring everything from his home in Bertucky over there in the wonderful town of Burton. So we appreciate him helping us out, jumping on and make sure everything sounds good. And we have Mr. Jay Warriors next to us this evening, our video engineer, and he's hanging out in the studio handling all video that is needed. All Things Video. That's
All
another.
Things Video.
That's a post show right there. All Things Video.
How are we doing, Jason?
Jason, you're doing.
Right.
And
Cool.
Sitting behind Chris and I at the Gate 9 producer's perch, who rumor has it he's trying to make a run at your job, Melissa.
Yeah, he can't have it.
No.
No.
We have
My voice is way too sexier.
It is.
Who's trying to take a run at your
Billy.
Billy from Gate 9
Billy.
sponsors.
I'll just
The
start throwing
producers.
some literallys in there.
He was literally trying to take your job.
We have one smoking hot BMX mama back there, Melissa. He's going to be handling all things social media this evening, so there's a lot of people already getting in there, and
Yep.
we see the chat lighting up right now. So let us know where you guys are at, and get your questions ready, get them lined up. As always, that is how we like to deliver the questions. We've got an action-packed show for you, talking all things BMX with Tracer, and he is brought to you by the Mighty Mo's BMX Cruise video line. We want to thank Mo for sponsoring that, and we also have another Jeremy Ames voicemail segment. God only knows what that's going to bring us this evening.
Stay tuned.
Last week was pretty funny. And now that you're on, Tracer, without knowing, you could be one of the subject matters for one of Jeremy Ames' upcoming voicemails.
Yes, be warned.
Oh yeah.
Male or female voice?
We don't. He does a pretty.
switches it up.
Yeah, he does a pretty mean girl voice from time to time.
Last week he was working on an 8-year-old,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
which my daughter Jeremy, if you're out there listening, absolutely loved it. She thought that she was
She
just
did.
the you know what, getting to be on the show like that.
she loved it.
Yeah, that was a good voice.
Yes.
That was funny.
And as always, we're going to have our news, rumors, and gossip segment brought to you by our friends at Nate's Painting. Got a new look for you this evening, and our show opening is brought to you by the good people at Truth BMX. It's time to grab your frosty beverage, shotgun that beer down, get one of those Mandingo pickles, and don't be late for the gate. Chris, why don't you let them know where they can listen to the replay and the audio version?
Alrighty. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for stopping by tonight. We appreciate it. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you are seeing everything we're doing over here at All Things BMX Show. So you can catch us on Facebook, which is sponsored by our friends over at Heavy Pedals BMX Zine. We are also on YouTube, sponsored by T-Bone BMX. Get your custom jerseys and that done. Check out T-Bone. We're on Twitch, which is sponsored by RSVP Wedding and Events. And we're on Twitter Periscope, which is sponsored by Holly Power Sports right here in Holly, Michigan. You can find the audio version of the show. It's the same exact show, just no video, obviously, because it's a podcast. We're on Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and any other podcast platforms that you use out there to get your podcasts. Podcast is sponsored by our friends over at Gate 9 Custom Number Plates. So if you're looking for a custom plate for yourself, for your team, get a hold of Billy over at Gate 9 and he will hook you up with the best looking plates around. So then the other thing is we want to hear from you. If you have news, rumors,
You just want to make some shit up and send it in. Go right ahead. Just go right ahead.
We like the gossip part.
let us know you got something going on at your track. Shoot us an email at allthingsbmxshow@gmail.com. If you have any guests you'd like to see on the show, let us know. That type of thing. And we are going to go hear from our friends at
RSVP.
RSVP Wedding and Event Designs. Anything you can imagine under the sun for your wedding, corporate event, parties, or even private events. Winner of the prestigious Best of Weddings by the Knot. Family owned and operated by some really cool BMX'ers. Call them now, 248-301-5522, and tell them that the Michigan BMX Podcast Show sent you.
I think it was Paul. All right. We are back. I want to say again, thank you to our special guest this evening, Tracer. So we're going to talk about Tracer's BMX story, all the amazing things that he's been involved in the BMX scene. And as always, we really encourage the listener participation. Get the questions in the chat. It's already blowing up already. Lots of big names in there already.
Except they're razzing each other. Though they are looking
Oh,
for
that's awesome.
Oh, God.
they are
love
looking
that.
for an
I
update
encourage
on you, JT.
What's
Everybody kind of wants to know how
you
you're
feeling,
feeling.
Justin?
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Look, I've been waiting for this interview for a while, guys, so pretty excited. Trace, we want to, again, thanks. And as we always start our shows, we want to know, what's your BMX story?
Oh, wow. You know what? I almost wanted to stop right after that intro that Chimo and Gork did. Because
it was good.
You watch that and you go, okay, done. Like
Lights out.
They did such a good job. And how do you follow that? Like with all the input they did and the good video work. That was hats off to them. But for me, I just started, coming to Vegas as a kid, being with my parents being entertainers. So I came to Vegas every summer and rode and then moved here full time, I think in 75. And like every kid, wanted to race motocross. Had a YZ80 and went out and found the motorcycle track. And it happened to be the same people that ran the BMX track called Williams Raceway. And parents, weren't too up on me racing motocross, thought it was dangerous. And I ended up just hanging out with the people anyway. They sort of took me in, and I ended up with the Williams family. I'd spend the night and help with the motorcycle races and throw tires. And you can imagine summers in Vegas out in the middle of the desert. It wasn't like it was, a snack bar and your car was out in the parking lot. You were in the middle of the desert. And so we all rode bikes anyway, and I started racing. And it was your age times your weight. It was interesting. That was why it was confusing to go to California and race by age, because you race like a big 11-year-old would race a small 13-year-old. So it was sort of fun to do all this racing, and they had jumping contests, bunny hop contests, uphill races. They'd run the track backward race. There was an intermission because it was all total points, so they could calculate everything. And right. I actually brought this is my first trophy ever. And it sort of tells you anything about me. It was for a wheelie contest. And I couldn't, it was actually this state championship, so it's sort of a big global trophy. And racing was a handful because there were some pretty fast guys out here that would whip us around pretty good. But I did the jumping and bunny hopping, and I just participated in everything. So that's really where I got started was here in Vegas, and in the early 76 is when we really went after it full time.
Okay. So when did you get your first sponsor? I think, did you have a bike shop, or who was your first sponsor?
Oh, that's really interesting because I always rode for my dad, the Mickey Finn Show. And
okay,
he made little shirts and for all the neighborhood kids, and we wore Mickey Finn Show jerseys. So it was always, sort of like a family business. If your parents own a bakery, and
right?
Yep.
Tell everybody about it.
You want to explain to everybody the Mickey Finn Show real quick, what that was? And
oh, sure. And my dad's on there somewhere, so all my buddies that know my dad, go ahead and chat him up there a little bit. He's on here watching.
Awesome.
But my parents were entertainers in San Diego, and actually Roaring Twenties, Ragtime, Dixieland musicians, and did a variety show, and it got picked up by NBC. So they got big time, and were on NBC in the 60s. And they got famous and started playing Vegas. And my dad and mom were the second act in Caesar's Palace when they opened.
Wow.
So they were on the marquee, and it was a good time. So that's why we ended up in Vegas full time. Was my dad was now here all the time playing, and then my brother and I came to live with him, and it was pretty cool. Definitely, if you look back at the era, look up Mickey Finn Show, and they were rock stars. My dad he kills it, great entertainer, funny guy, and he'd always help the kids and sponsor. Hence the Mickey Finn Show stickers that I sent out. Mm-hmm. He always helped and sponsored us. So my sponsorship for pretty much all the way until I went factory was for my dad. I never did any. Sometimes I do points races for local bike shops, and I worked at one of the bike shops, but I didn't do anything full time because my dad paid my races anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
no doubt. So support.
I sort of got passed over.
Yeah. So support those who support you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any bike shop sponsors besides little point races here and there for fun. So I go to nationals and wear Levi's and a Mickey Finn Show jersey, and half the people I knew ran the stickers, and they'd come to Vegas, and my parents would host, and it was a good time.
Great.
We've got Jason is working on pulling up a couple pictures of the Mickey Finn Show that we'll put in the bottom right of the screen here in a second. So if you see that change, we just jumped over and he's searching a little bit around to bring some pictures up so you can kind of put a picture there with the Mickey Finn Show. Melissa, do you have a question?
Yeah, I want to know if Tracer can sing.
Oh, that is an excellent.
Oh, wow. You know why people become technicians?
Good answer. Good
What about
answer.
your brother? Did anybody kind of follow in those footsteps or even dabble in the entertainment world aside from your lighting career?
You know, my brother played piano a little bit.
Okay.
And I will tell the secret that most people don't know is
Oh, well, this is the place.
xylophone. I played xylophone.
Wow.
And, grandma vibes.
Yeah,
And-
I have played that myself. That's not easy.
Yeah, so that was my. I didn't get electric guitar, or, drum set. I played vibes and didn't really show too much promise. And I remember, when I sold it, we had an antique shop. I sold it at the antique shop and went and bought bike parts.
Nice.
So,
well, there you go. Full circle there.
Not a lot of talent here. But, yeah, that's my dad's band, like original band when he was a kid in the nightclub down below.
Is that the one in California?
That's San Diego.
Yep.
That house is packed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. It was the place to be.
That would be cool to go back there, wouldn't it?
There. Oh.
He can light up that's a regular night.
Really?
And
That's
there's a balcony
amazing.
up there. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's he's still I think you probably pulled up his website. He still plays and up until things got shut down, him and his wife are out doing shows on cruise ships and he kills them.
I was going to say,
Super talented.
once an entertainer, always an entertainer. It doesn't turn off.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't.
I'm going to ask the question. How old is your father?
A youthful. What is it, about 83?
Old enough to
maybe?
know better.
All right.
Still.
Yeah.
And still going at it strong.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he shreds it.
Holy moly.
That's downtown Las Vegas, and that's fun. This is fun watching, actually, for me. I'm proud of my parents.
Your buddy,
Your
buddy Woody in the story in the chat says he's had a Mickey Finn sticker on his bike since you gave him one in 1982.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it was what's really cool is everybody reacted. Everybody supported, and when people come to Vegas, they're always invited to the show, and it's sort of neat, actually.
Really cool.
Wait a minute. Is that Ronald Reagan?
Yeah. Well, he
they
did
played
start off as an actor.
That's my mom and Ronald Reagan, and my dad on the left. I think they played for his inauguration when he was governor of California.
Oh shit!
Most of that.
Oh.
Played for 2 USA presidents.
Dang.
Yeah,
And
there you go. I don't have my glasses on, so I have to leave you.
yeah.
You can pop it up big on there.
Now, so we got another video that we snuck in to let us know if you want us to play the one you're one in a millionth that depicts your show that you did that you're doing. Which one was it called, Melissa?
La Rev.
Yeah, your La Rev video. So
Sure.
You should talk about his lighting career now.
yeah, because not only it's like lightning strikes twice. Mom and Dad have a killer history. So do you. And I found the video, and earlier this morning, sent it back to you, telling you how cool it was. And Melissa's been to the show.
Oh my gosh, it's my favorite.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
So it's what do we got? It's only about 4 minutes. If you want to throw it up, Jason. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna show that way the people watching with us also know what you guys are you do.
Yeah.
So
Get a good idea what you're doing today.
you want to turn?
Oh, cool.
So
I'm in.
yeah.
Could you take 148 to white, please? If you can point it at center stage. My name is Tracer Finn. I'm an assistant head of lighting at La Rev, and this is what I get to do. There's lighting underwater. There's lighting at 110 feet. There's lighting midway through aerial acts. So it's 360 degrees, but also top to bottom, it's three-dimensional as well. So no matter where you're sitting, everything needs to be the same from your perspective. We are painting with light. I need something that just dazzles these people, because that's part of our show, is doing things that people haven't seen before. There's over 200 moving lights. Everything has multiple colors, nearly 300 lights that are underwater that light the water that we aerate to give that a color. This show will go from a swamp scene where it's green and eerie to bright hello Vegas and back down again. And it takes you through a visual journey. There's nearly 20 miles of cable in this pool. And with all the underwater lighting, everything that needs to be controlled. So that's part of our job, is to maintain the lighting, and we put on our scuba gear, and we, as a lighting person, you're running cable underwater to your lights. You can't have a fear of heights for what we do. You can't have a fear of water for what we do. And you can't have a fear of failure for what we do. I was born into this business. My parents had a nightclub in San Diego, and the Mickey Finn Show. NBC picked them up, and they had a summer replacement series in 1966. And I was drawn to the lighting because that's where I ended up all the time, because I wasn't old enough to be out in the house. So the crew would always teach me things, and I'd ask great questions, and I got to see all these cool technical things that went on. I did lighting for my dad's show. I did about 9 years of star shows with Lou Rawls, Frank Sinatra, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton. I enjoyed them a lot and gave it my all. So then when the opportunity came along and they opened Siegfried and Roy's show, you know, arguably one of the coolest things ever. So I went over and worked there. One of the things when I worked with Siegfried and Roy is you have to be perfect. You have to be spot on, literally. And lighting is a very huge part of magic, and they're very intense and want the most out of you. When Larev came about, I just thought this was going to be the most interesting thing ever done. The show's been around for 10 years and has won Show of the Year for 5 years running. Our goal is to do the lighting, and people come in and leave and not even know we exist. They feel like it's just organic and it's part of what happened. We want every light up and running. We want every light to hit the same position. We want every cue the same. And how we do our lighting is directly related to how they do their tricks. We even train with them in rehearsals, so we need to earn their trust by hitting our marks and proving that we're a great team. And I always tell the guys, even the new guys, I say, it's Groundhog Day here. You have to be able to repeat this. You have to make this consistent, and that's how you gain trust with these guys, is hitting everything just like they expect. When I'm watching something like a big show, Academy Awards, some big production on TV, I definitely have a different eye for it. I want to make sure that they're getting the best from their production team. If I see somebody miss a cue or somebody's walking backstage, it takes me about halfway through a show before I'll calm down and enjoy the production how I should as a regular person. Well, the old adage, the show must go on, for us is a reality. There's 1,600 people out here waiting to see this show, and you better be on your game and your system better be up and running. When people applaud, they appreciate that we did something too, but we're not out there taking a bow. We're giving everyone an opportunity to take a bow, and that's a super cool thing to be a part of.
So we're back, and when we stumbled across that, I'm like, this has got to go in. I got the people that have to see like what you're doing and how awesome that is, and then finding out Melissa went and saw the show. And
I just have to say, what's amazing about that particular show is that it's water and stage production. So as he talks about in the video piece, it has to be seamless, and the scene changes all the time, and it tells this really, really intense story. And it's just crazy how those little things, like looking back on it now, at the time I didn't notice it. Like you said, it just becomes kind of like part of the whole culture. You just take it all in. But looking back, it changed so dramatically every time there was a new scene. It was amazing. Everybody should go see it, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that's cool. I'm glad you showed that. It's I'm proud of that. You know, just evolution of technical, things that go on. Is when I was a kid, I'd just sit in the light booth and turn on switches and run spotlight.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
What up, man?
Okay.
Hey, 1 second here. How are you, TJ?
All right.
And we have our special. Yeah, you gotta. Yep. And
right,
when TJ kicked in, it muted Tracer. The software did.
We're gonna fix that.
So we're
real
gonna
quick.
go to our 2-screen view here in 1 second, and we're gonna welcome in Tracer's special guest, Mr. TJ Lavin. Let me pull it in. And
Just a second
There we
here.
go.
We'll get it straightened up.
Yep. And
No
perfect.
worries.
Hey, buddy.
Except that
now you can
flip
see.
back.
Better.
You got to go. No, that's right. You go to your Zoom and flip them. TJ, thank you. We're going to get you guys sorted out here, so you guys names are right with your sponsors underneath you. We want to say thank you for joining. Huge. Thank you for
Welcome to the show, TJ.
welcome on.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Oh
We're-
my goodness.
We're excited to have you.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Tracer, for arranging such a meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, what's cool is after I got racing for all those years, I sort of sat out for a while and just raced here and there. And I came back out to the track, and it was sort of almost like a whole new era started. And that's when I ran into TJ's. I literally met him the first night I got a new bike, and I don't know, probably 94-ish. I don't know exactly, but it was a long time ago. And that's sort of how we met, was at the local BMX track, and I thought he jumped really good and rode well, and we started.
Pretty cool, dude.
It was that simple. It was that simple. He could ride, and I thought it was cool, and I was trying to learn how to manual and do things, and he started helping me out so I could chase some of that pros around.
Did you use that line on your wife too, Tracer? Hey, you can jump pretty cool.
Actually,
Want to get some
there is
coffee?
a bike reference for our meeting, how we met. So I definitely got a BMX assist.
For sure.
He said, "You're that bike guy," and I got
The
a
bike
free
guy.
assist.
You're like, yes, I am. Thank you very much.
So,
TJ, where are you at right now?
I'm at home in my studio at home. I got a little music studio, and
Oh,
so I'm in Las Vegas.
okay.
okay.
So
yeah,
you're
just doing
melting
it.
too.
Yeah.
What's that?
You're melting too.
It's warm.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It's ridiculous. Like I go out there and I'm like, man, is this real? Is this real? Like, how could it be this hot? How is it possibly this hot?
That's
You know?
crazy.
For sure.
Okay, so before we get into questions for TJ, though, could you just do me a super big favor and say what up to Randall? He
Oh my
is
God.
your super fan on our race team right now, and he is totally geeking out on the fact that we are talking to you. And if he
What
heard
up,
you say,
Randall? How you doing, brother?
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So should we ask?
So I couldn't find the logo for the labs there. You want to give us a real quick on why we have the recording studio there at the house?
Me?
Yeah.
I right now I do a lot of voiceovers for my show and things like that. But I've been in music for a long time, and I've always loved it. And I actually made several albums and everything else right here in the studio, and it's been real good to me. It's been real fun. I play piano, play guitar, whatever, rap, just whatever I can, however I can, whenever I can, I just do that. So it kills a lot of time, and it's really fun, and it's just it's like a very nice pastime for me. And I've made a pretty good living out of a lot of different hobbies.
That's the best kind.
That's
And you're
the
never
best
at
way to
work.
do it. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what they say. Find something you love. You never work a day in your life, right?
that's
So-
exactly right. 100% truth. That's exactly what I've been doing the whole time. It's so weird. I don't know how I lucked into this situation, but it's really like ridiculous, and it's awesome. So I'm happy to be here.
Awesome.
Now,
we have
for those that don't know, what is your connection with Tracer?
Well, Tracer and I we were together on Hurta's Hot Shots. So, like, I met Tracer the very, very first time I met him was in Nick Hurta's backyard. He just got a bike. He just started riding again, and I didn't know who he was. But then he was real fast, and he was smoking us down the first straight. And I was like, "Oh my God, this guy's so fast!" Like, and he's old, you know what I mean? Like,
That's the best part.
like when you're 15 and 16 years old, 10 years is a lot.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's like 15 years older than me. So at the time, I was like, "There's no way," you know what I mean? I'm gonna smoke this dude because he's 30. You know what I mean? I was 29 or 30,
Right.
and I'm 15, and there's no way. Like, and I was the fastest guy, and then all of a sudden he smoked us, and we were like, "Whoa, dude, it's fast."
That's awesome.
And so, like, he didn't ride for 10 years or longer, and then all of a sudden he's just smoking everybody. It was pretty crazy. And then he was like, "Hey, will you teach me how to jump?" Because I was jumping like this berm to berm thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Yeah, sure, man." So I took him out to the trails, and then the first run, the guy never even jumped the jump straight. He tried to do a 360 and blew his knee out.
Oh,
So he was there for like 10 minutes and then blew his knee out. Like, and I was like, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then he got surgery, he got fixed up, and then he started riding again. He's fine. But it's crazy that happened. You know what I mean?
uh-huh.
Sure.
And then, the Hurta, that was the team you guys both were on. Tracer, you were telling us the other day, there was a department store, a big box store, right, back in the day?
It was an electronics store.
Yeah.
It was an electronics store, and I started that team with him. And it was 5 of us from the neighborhood that started that team. And Nick was like, "Yeah, man, let's do a team," and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, he scooped up Tracer somehow. I don't know how that happened, whatever happened, however Tracer met Nick. I'm not sure, but Nick was like magnet, man. Like, he was just he is a magnetic person of the world. Like, everyone wants to know Nick, and everyone wants to be a part of him, and he's just an amazing human being. So he took Tracer in and then brought Tracer to his house, had the whole track and everything, and Tracer was like, "Yeah, I'm down, whatever you want, man, let's do it." So he did that, and just, you know, it was badass ever since.
Great. So TJ, while we have you on here, one of the things we ask all our guests is, how did you find BMX? How did you start in BMX? Where did you find the sport?
I think it was when I was a real little kid. The very first memory I have of BMX is Nellis BMX, and it was when I was a little kid. I went out there with a neighbor who raced, and I think it was Nellis, or it might have been a different track. Was there another track out by the pump track where the pump track is now?
Oh, Julie Springs.
Yeah.
Yes, there was for like a year.
Yeah, that BMX track is the one I went to when I was a little kid.
Wow.
So, yeah, I just remember that because, like, he was my neighbor. We drove forever back then. You know what I mean? It seemed like an hour, probably.
It's still fun.
Yeah, dude. And so we went out there. I watched them race, and I was like, I want to do that someday. And then when I was probably 13 or 14 years old, I was turning 14 maybe, and I asked my mom for a bike because some kids in the neighborhood came over with number plates on, and I thought they were so cool. And I was a speed skater, so I had really strong legs, and I knew that I could be fast and be good. And then I saw their number plates, and I was like, I want to be that. So I went and got a bike for my birthday that year. It was a Mongoose Menace, and I was like, it was a piece of crap now that I look back at it, but back then it was awesome. You know what I mean? So
it's always the first one's always awesome.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was cool. But actually, I had first bikes before that. I just never really knew what I was doing and didn't care. Like, my dad got me a Webco, and I thought that was a piece of junk, but it was actually really, really good now that I look back at it. You know what I mean? Like Webco was sick. And then, and that I had a Webco when I was a kid, and I didn't even know what that was. So I'm like, man, that's really cool that he did that, you know? But, then, you know, fast forward to 1995, I won the King of Dirt, and that was it. You know what I mean? It was off to the races. So like it was like racing. I won a couple of titles racing, but they were all amateur titles. They were all little stuff, you know, like little nationals and whatever. But never was it like the best class, and never the best racer. And it was just I was a good dirt jumper that raced okay. And then racing.
That's what Tracer says about himself.
Took the back seat.
Yeah.
So you started doing the dirt jump contest, that type of stuff around 95?
Yeah, that's when I turned pro.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I did all the amateur contests and won them all. Like just local contests, and if there was a contest at the races that I was at or whatever, like you know, I don't know wherever, like Orange or something. If there was ever a contest or something like that, I would enter it and do real well. And then in 95, I entered the King of Dirt because Nick Herta like helped me get on there, and so it was me and 20 guys, and I couldn't believe it because I shouldn't have been on that list, but somehow Nick Herta got Gork to put me on that list. So he did, and then I won, and it was real cool. And then Gork was like, dude, good job, Nick, you know, patted on the back, and then, you know, and everybody's there. It was real cool.
That's amazing.
That is really cool. Good deal.
Tell us on how you ended up in Specialized, and Tracer ended up being your team manager.
Well, what happened was Travis put together the Specialized team, right? And Gary Laurent took me to Arizona to do some shows. I was doing shows with Gary Laurent, and he took me to Arizona. I got the introduction to Travis. He said, I'm putting together a BMX team for this new company, new to BMX. It was Specialized. And then he said, I want you to be on the team, and you'll be my first rider. And then you and Mike Hayek are going to be the first two guys. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And then I became a dirt jumper for them. Oh, sorry, guys. All right, sorry about that. So I became a dirt jumper for them. Mike Hayek was the pro. And then Travis actually left Specialized 3 years later or something, or 5 years later, I'm not sure. And then I was like, well, we need a new team manager. And they were like, yeah, you do. Who do you got? Anybody? And then I said, maybe. And then Tracer had a super secure job at Bellagio, and he just opened the O Show, and it's like the most coveted job in town, like the biggest wig job you could get. He had it, and I was like, well, Tracer, you want to go travel the world with me? And he was like, yeah, I'm down. And he's like, let me think about it. He thought about it for a night. I don't even know if he thought about it all night or maybe like just a couple hours, but he was like, I'm in, let's do it. I was like, all right. So I called Specialized, said, I got your guy. And they were like, really? I was like, yeah, this is the dude. And then Tracer came on the team, and it was badass.
That's awesome.
That is really cool stuff, man.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So much fun.
Right.
Yeah, it was like, I consider felt like it was stealing. You know, like you're hanging out with your friends, you're traveling, and then you're standing on the roll-in with a pump and water for these guys doing awesome, you know, everything when you're a kid you wish you could get to do if you ride and jump. And they were doing it, and I know TJ's, if you haven't noticed, pretty humble, and he's always treated me good. So it felt like it was just more like going places with your buddy, and I took care of the business end and did things I had to do. But to be standing on the roll-in with your friends at the X Games, looking around with the crowd, and when your buddy's got to sort of shut off the fear, and you know, I totally get it. So I just would support it. You know, I didn't, you know, whine at them or do anything like that. You just go, okay, what do these guys need? They need water. They need the bikes ready. They need support. Sometimes you need to get out of there. just sort of what friends do. And it was more of a fun program for me. And it was 4 years of stealing, traveling the world.
It was way, way more than that, though. He brought a whole nother bike put together for me to every contest. And I think we probably used that bike like maybe 2 or 3 times the whole time. But it was like it was there, And so some of those contests, like I wouldn't have been able to ride it because I broke the bike somehow, some way. I broke a wheel or broke something, and Tracer was right there, boom, done. You know what I mean? Everything was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just for me. It was like for the whole entire circuit, everybody, because everybody's on the same team when there's so much on the line, when you can die. You know what I mean? So, like,
right.
Stephen Murray, he almost died, and he's been life-changing injuries because of what he went through. And we all knew that was a possibility and that could happen,
Sure.
And so everybody was on the same team, essentially on the roll-in. Everybody knew that we were all like, this could be our last run, and if it is, then we went out swinging. And that's and Steven went down like that. That's a whole nother level. Like, he could use any of my bikes at any time, as could Nasty, Fuzzy, whoever ever, and they did too. So it was cool.
That's amazing.
So you're helping out your brothers, really.
Yeah, everybody's brothers on the deck. Like, everybody on the deck really meant something, and Tracer was one of the guys on the deck.
That's cool. So you guys did that for about 4 years. What would you say would be your biggest moment, TJ? What was your favorite biggest win in your eyes?
My first X Game win was probably the biggest one, but the one that changed my life was 1995 King of Dirt. Like, when I won that night, I wasn't even supposed to make the final. Wow. And when I beat the X Game champ, which was Jay Miron, everybody was like, oh my gosh, like, who is this dude? Because no one knew me at all. Gary Ellis was in the audience, and he's like, that dude has the smoothest style. And I read that in the magazine later, so I was like so geeked out because I was like, Gary Ellis knows my name, and it was like, it was just real cool. I mean, he didn't even know my name, but he said that, and I was like, that's cool. So.
Oh wow!
Do I understand that you have a video game named after?
Yeah. I had a couple video games come out, like one for PlayStation and one for Game Boy.
Wow.
And had a lot of cool things. I think I might be one of the only people on a stamp that's not dead.
Score.
I got a stamp. That was pretty cool.
A stamp?
Yeah.
Postage stamp.
And they milked out his outfit. Like, he had specialized, but they made him green and gold. So he's on a stamp kit, but it's him. But then they just sort of scribbled in his outfit and like made it green, so it didn't look like.
Damn, I didn't even know that was a thing. Wow.
We all know it was.
Wow. And
that was pretty cool.
How did your MTV career get started?
I was just nice to everybody, like, just whatever. There's this guy sleeping in my back porch out back, and then I went out there. I was like, yo, man, come on in and get some breakfast. And he was like, no, I'm cool. I got to sweep the porch. I was like, I'll just help you after. And he's like, all right. So he came in, had some breakfast, and then we went out there and swept the porch, and it was done. And then he was a PA at that time, which is production assistant, which is bottom rung of the ladder.
Sure.
Fast forward, I go to New York to do a music interview. I'm talking about some music with some dudes, and then I'm talking about an agency to sign with WME. So when I was there, I was in William Morris, the big building, signing the big ass book, like this crazy thing, and I get the call from MTV dude, which is this dude was like, I'm gonna call you all the time, whatever. I was like, yeah, cool. And his name was Vinny Potestivo.
Oh,
and sure enough, the dude called me, and I was in New York at the time, and he's like, come to my office. I was like, what? You have an office, Vinny? He's like, yeah. The last time I saw him, he sweeping my porch. Next thing I know, I go into this dude's office, and he's got like all these badass things, whatever, and he's got rainbows everywhere. And I'm like, Vinny, are you gay? And he goes, yeah. And I go, oh, thank God, thank God. He's like, what? Why? And I go, because you leave some chicks for the rest of us. He's like the best looking dude I ever seen. And I was like, dude, thank God, man. It's like, and he started laughing. He loved that. And he was like, dude, that is so cool. Like,
That's
and he goes,
awesome.
do you want a show?
Oh.
And I was like, sure.
Sure.
What is it? And he goes, it's called The Challenge. And I go, that's Dave Mira's show. I can't do that. And he goes, well, no, call him. I think he's over it. So right then and there, I called him and called Dave. And Dave was like, yeah, dude, you'll do it, man. You'll love it for like 1 or 2 seasons, and then you'll be done. He goes, it's cool, though. You'll love it. And he goes, I'm over it. I was like, all right, cool. So then I hung up the phone and said, Vinny, I'll take it. And then Vinny was like, all right, cool. Let me introduce you to Jackie. Jackie French was like a real big wig at MTV. She's real cool. And we got along like that. And I saw how high we were on the building. And I was like, damn. So I said, what story are we on? And I think she said 35 or something like this. So I counted the floors, then I did all the math, and it was like 35 times 12. And so I did all the math, and I sent her that much rope for Christmas, and she loved that. So then fast forward to me going to Buner Murray, which is the production company in Hollywood, and they were like, yeah, cool. We have 3 people up for the job. And they said, it's Nasty, you, and it was some snowboarder kid who was real cool. I know he was better looking than me and Corey, and real cool, and he probably would have did a great job. But I was like, they were like, which guy do you want to get this job? And I said, Nasty. And then they were like, what, Nasty? And I said, yeah. Why? I said, because he has more charisma than any of us. He's the best dude. And they were like, okay. And so then we left, and they wanted Nasty. And then they said that to MTV, and MTV said, no, you're taking TJ, which was Vinny Potestivo, and then they took me.
Wow.
So then I went to the first challenge I ever did was in Trinidad and Tobago, and halfway through the challenge I left there, went to the Do Action Sports Tour in Louisville, Kentucky, then went back to finish the filming of the show.
That's amazing. And are you still filming?
What's that?
Are you still filming now?
Yeah, I still film. I finished this last season in December, but I haven't worked since then because of this crazy virus. But
yes.
Everything. I mean, fingers crossed. We're gonna go again here pretty soon.
That's awesome.
That's great. So do you find that you have fans, let's say, from the BMX, and then different fans from the challenge, or do they cross over? Or
it's interesting because about 10 years ago it started becoming a little bit more even, and then now it's like challenge, and the show. Some people don't even know I rode.
Oh,
and it's
really?
It's sad. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks because I broke every bone in my body, and I'm like, damn it. But I understand. It's cool, whatever. It's like I see some announcers and stuff, and I don't feel like I would ever think that those dudes did anything. You know what I mean? But so I understand, but I really love it when somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I loved your ride, and I loved you in BMX," and like. Maybe it's because I haven't been in the BMX scene like as much. Sometimes I'll announce the contests here and there. Mm-hmm. If they ask me to, I'll do it 100%. But like X Games, I'll announce it here and there. I used to anyway. And then Do Action Sports Tour I did, and then I built the jumps too, and it was fun. So I really like still having my pinky toe in the water,
That is nice that you can still be involved.
Yeah.
Tracer, what was when we go back to circle around to the question Chris asked, what was your biggest BMX moment?
Oh boy. I would say it was how everybody talks about wins, and or something big, or for me, I was working for Specialized, and I was doing I was with the race team, and we were in Reno, and we've all won races here and there, and everybody has list of accomplishments, but I was in Reno with the race team because I did the race program and the jump program, and a guy introduced me to his son that he named his son after.
Wow.
And his name
Really?
is Tracer Radman Coleman. So his middle name was Radman, which was even cooler than Tracer. So I got to meet this kid, and I think that those kind of things, to me, you can't get any better than that. So many names are kid, Tracer Radman Coleman. It sort of made my day. So
Nice.
you know,
That is cool.
we've all, yeah. So I would go with that.
Very nice.
Cool.
So TJ, when you were first getting into the BMX, transitioning into the dirt jumping, who was your favorite pro that you were looking up to?
It was two of them. It was Fuzzy Hall and Todd Lyons.
The Wild Man.
Wow, man.
Yes.
Yep. I loved Wild Man so much, and I love Fuzzy. Like, I remember Fuzzy doing a 360 into the bonsai at Nellis BMX over that big tabletop, and I was like, that is the sickest thing I've ever seen. And then I remember Todd Lyons flipping the big pro section in Burbank, and him and Gary Laurent, who was a friend of mine, but he wasn't my friend back then. I didn't know him, but I saw him doing flips over the pro section, and I was like, dude, that dude is sick. And same with Todd Lyons, and I was like, Todd was my favorite. And then he let me move in with him. Todd Lyons let me come and stay with him. LaJuan Cunningham, Darren Mitchell, and Brian Foster lived in a house called the Ash Street Pros House in Huntington Beach, and he let me go stay there on the couch for a couple weeks with Timo Pritzl, and we stayed there and rode every day and just had so much fun. And I bought one of his helmets for $10.
Oh,
Awesome.
I bet you have some stories from that.
Yeah, I did.
I've caught some of them from Todd Lyons' journal that he posts on his social media page. And wow, you guys were definitely living the BMX life back then, for sure.
Yes, no doubt. And I didn't stop living the BMX life until ever.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still 43 years old right now, and I'm still living it.
That's amazing.
You're still
For sure.
you're still jumping in competitions too, right?
No contest for me.
Feet on the ground for him.
I ride around on mountain bikes and road bikes and things like this, but I do have other competitions that I try to get in and try to do with people. Like, I will bet you anything, like if the odds are right, I'll do whatever and however, like I'll race you around whatever and I'll jump whatever. And it's so much so that I'm actually going to be coming out with an app pretty soon. And so stay tuned for that. It's going to be an app for the phone,
Awesome.
and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be so cool, and we're all going to get on it, and we're all going to do stuff. It's going to be awesome.
That's
I love it.
Well,
So-
you get that together, let us know.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
sir.
speaking of apps on the phone, I have one of our very random questions that we're going to throw out, and then Melissa's going to hit us if there's any questions in the chat room. So we'll start with Tracer, and then TJ, you'll give us your answer. So if you could only have two apps on your smartphone, what would those two apps be?
Waze, for sure.
Yay! That's my fave.
Yeah,
Wazer all the way.
Waze and Chase Bank. That's
Very
it.
nice.
Okay.
TJ?
Those are good ones, dude. Mine would be Venmo
Oh yeah.
and Instagram.
Oh.
All right.
Very nice.
All right.
But
So everybody
if
check out.
this was 6 months from now, it would be the new one that I got coming out.
There you go.
All right, you heard it here. 6 months from now.
All right. So everybody check out TJ on Instagram.
Yes. Melissa, we're
Yeah.
going to check into our chat room and see if we got questions, comments going on in there. And
Oh, it's a busy night.
yes.
Oh, yeah, I bet it is.
God, where to even start? Okay, well, actually, Tracer, your wife has reminded me, and I intended to ask you about this, but I feel like both of you have had some serious injuries over the course of your career. Something about a finger, perhaps.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh,
So how about you tell us the worst injury, and then we'll flip over and have TJ do the same.
Okay. Let's see. Well, it was back when ABA gave moto money, where if you could win your moto and you might get $18 or something, and you'd sort of made it so the pros could, even if you didn't make the main event, you could go home with gas money. And it was
okay.
I was working shows, but every time there's a race in Vegas, I usually show up and race without any practice. I just love to race, and I ended up racing on it was the Gold Cup Championships in 84, 85. Yeah, it was, and I came around the corner and a buddy of mine center punched me. And I say buddy of mine because, all of the racers, we all hung out. And buddy center punched me, and my handlebars went sideways, and my hand flew out, like just to break my fall.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my left hand, and I had those old 09 gloves. Did anybody ever have those?
The wrist wraps?
They were 09 gloves with the Velcro wraps on them.
Yes, the wrist wrap.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so when I flew over the bars with my left arm out, heading for the ground, and the dude that clipped me didn't fall. He sort of hit me and then pedaled away, but my hand went in his wheel.
Oh.
And it.
Damn.
It's interesting because
Already
we recounted it, and my hand went around his wheel and it pulled my finger off, and I looked down and I remember I was looking at my hand, and my finger the bone was still there, but the finger was pulled off like wire strippers.
It's called a degloving.
Yeah, it was sort of one of those slow motion things. It wasn't
really
just a quick
term.
chop. And he pedaled away, and now I'm in the turn, and I remember I had white bands on because I'm bleeding everywhere, and the turn official's looking at me like just ghostly, and I'm going, get my effing finger, and we're crawling around the dirt looking for my finger, and
Jesus.
We couldn't find it, and we looked everywhere.
Oh my
and
gosh.
They called the moto back, and they called the moto back, and my buddy's named Joe LaMarche, good dude. It was in his wheel.
Oh my!
And he said it had blood on his brake caliper too.
Oh,
So it had gone around and finished. So technically, I
You
got
finished.
if you want to put it that way.
I
So,
love it.
so that would be my, that would sort of be my worst injury, besides the lingering ones that cost me a few knee replacements. So that's mine.
So were they able to get everything put back together good?
Oh no, he's missing.
No, we sewed it up, and I worked. I ran a spotlight the next night at Imperial Palace. Yeah,
All right. Show must
they
go
just
on.
wrapped everything but these two fingers, and I worked a show the next night.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
That's it. Show must go on. Eh?
That's what they say.
$14.85 an hour. Yeah,
That was good money.
And
it was absolutely.
the same question for TJ. Your worst injury.
Well, I had a couple brain injuries, but those didn't really hurt as bad as when I was in Orlando. I broke my leg real bad. I had a tib fib. I was doing real good runs in practice, and I was actually looking real good. And then I was doing this run, and I landed way too sweet. I did a truck driver to X up on the second to last set, and when I landed perfect. So I was really going at it like flying, and then I did a decade, and the decade was just too easy. And then when I landed, I blew off the back because I overshot the jump. And when I overshot the jump, they pulled me off the back of the jump a little bit, and it dragged my leg and I sat on my back leg, and it snapped.
Oh gosh!
And then
yeah.
the 2 bones went out of my leg and into the dirt, like as I was sitting in it. And so I'm looking down at my 2 bones in the dirt, and then I was like, "Ooh, that's not good." And then I said, "Fuzzy, get the ambulance." And then he got him, and the burning was so crazy, because we've all had so many crashes that you don't go into shock, you just suffer in silence.
Yeah.
But I wasn't silent. I was like cussing and like going crazy. I was like, "Jeff, this is killing me," and it was brutal. That was the worst ever pain, and the insult to injury, they cut all my clothes off, and when I got to the hospital, there was 14 nurses that were there, and they were like, "Oh my God, that's the MTV guy, and now he has a broken leg. Oh, and he's naked. Oh, and he's missing a piece that normal guys have because my leg was broken." So it was like it was not pretty. It was freezing too, by the way.
That's what she said.
Right.
It was brutal, dude.
It must have been
brutal.
cold.
Like insult to injury. Like you're already busted. Everything sucks, and then that too, dude. Come on.
So in all honesty, though, like most people don't go there. Like you are thinking about that now, but at the time, I am sure that was the furthest from you giving an F what was going on.
Well, I talked to TJ after that, and I think he couldn't fly for a week or whatever it was, and actually the worst part of that was how they checked for internal bleeding, and you said that you signed a waiver because they were very probing, so you said no thanks, I'll take my chances. It was a very personal experience.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that I at the time, like, we had so many broken bones and broken crashes and everything else that and I had internal injuries before, so I know for a fact that I'm not hurt.
God, this
inside.
sounds familiar.
I know, and I took the crash. So the crash was like, it wasn't that hard. Like, I've crashed 1,000 times harder, and so I knew that nothing else was hurt. Like they were always worried about my back and worried about this, worried about that, and I was like, dude, none of that matters at all. This is the only thing that matters.
More liability than anything.
Yeah, they had to power wash my leg first, so I had 3 surgeries: power wash the leg, then put the bones back in, and then drill the hole through the bone to pound in the rod. And it was so there's a giant rod in my leg now. There's a plate, and then there's 10 screws holding it all together.
Yeah, that sounds pretty intense.
The Melissa in the back that's talking is an occupational therapist, so as you're going on with the injury, she's
cringing.
Just
pretty much.
Exactly. Now, TJ, I know you're a very busy man, and we probably get set all night. So at any time, if you got to jump off, just let us know, because we want to tell you thanks for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it, and we just want to be.
We'll keep asking you questions all night if you're going to hang out. But if you got,
no. I wanted to get back to Tracer. I appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We'll be looking for that app.
Brother.
Yes, we're going to be looking. We're definitely going to be looking for that app. Thank you, TJ.
No problem. Take care. Have a good one, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Yes.
All right.
Well,
that was pretty awesome. Thanks, Tracer, for getting TJ on.
Randall is still
our buddy
over the moon right now.
Tracer, our buddy.
Got a little man crush going on.
He is more than man crushing.
We're gonna have to.
I feel like he needs a bucket of ice right now. Brittany, get on it.
We're gonna have to get a screenshot and send it to him. We got to refresh Tracer's video. And while we're doing that, we're going to jump real quick to commercial from our friends at Magic Motorsports. And we will be right back. And we're going to hit some commercials right in a row, get them out of the way, and then come back and hang out with our friend Tracer here on the All Things BMX show.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's time to experience the coolest store you've never been to. Magic Motorsports in Waterford. Discover over 40,000 square feet of savings. From motorcycle parts, accessories, and service to hoodies, coats, jackets, and sunglasses from Oakley and Spy, and so much more. Looking for that perfect gift? You'll find it here. Get big discounts on everything every day. We also carry the area's largest selection of BMX bikes and accessories. And we change motorcycle tires while you wait. Magic Motorsports on Dixie Highway just west of Telegraph in Waterford.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Heavy Pedals BMX Zine. Voted #1 BMX zine in the world by Michigan BMX Podcast Show viewers and listeners. Get your copy now. Heavy Pedals is sold locally at Solon Bicycles, Ray's MTB, Reggie's Bike Shop, and globally at heavypedals.com. Make sure you get over to our Facebook page, give us a like and a share, and while you're at it, head on over to our Instagram page at Heavy Pedals BMX.
There we go. All right, we are back, and we're getting Tracer back in on the show here, and we want to thank our friends over at Heavy Pedals, and you see between Chris and I, Melissa's missing. She'll be right back. But we got the new posters from Heavy Pedals, and he has... he gave us a whole bunch of them. So tonight, the winner in the trivia is going to get themselves one of these cool posters. And if you haven't, there it is. The brand new, new edition. And so, really cool over the weekend. Chuck drove up. He's from the Ohio area. Drove all the way up to Lansing, Michigan, and hung out with the group at the Capital City Family BMX. Came up there, and he had all three episodes or issues, of Heavy Pedals. So we appreciate Chuck for, hanging out, being a sponsor of the show, and really cool that he was up hanging out at a state race, and he was actually even selling another guy's zine. So,
really?
Yeah.
Is it a
Heath,
BMX or something?
It's a BMX one. Heath's in the chat. Heath, can you tell us the name of that other zine? I just drew a blank, but welcome back, Tracer.
Hello, how's this work? I went with my backup.
Perfect. So
I'm on my phone now.
Hey, let everybody know, as they can tell, they can see your background, all the cool memorabilia you got hanging up there, which you were really awesome and gracious to send our group here to donate to Waterford Oaks BMX some stuff to give put in a silent raffle. We got your jersey back there by Melissa, autographed. Someone's going to be able to win that this coming weekend at Waterford. But how hot is it in your garage right now?
I'm okay. It's 98.
Oh my God.
Oh.
But this is the BMX
but it's a
thing.
dry heat.
It's dry.
Yeah, it's dry heat.
98 is 98.
Amen. I've lived in Arizona. I agree with that. That's a bunch of bullshit.
That's what I say. They go, oh yeah, but the
Yeah.
humidity, it's a dry heat. I'm like, man, if it's close to 100, it's 100. It doesn't
it don't
matter.
Yeah.
Hey,
Tell that to the Thanksgiving turkey in the oven.
That's
Right.
right.
Exactly.
Tracer Jason Chang is in the chat right now, and he says,
yeah.
when is the next Vegas old school get together? He says he loved the last one and couldn't believe anyone knew who I was. Ha ha ha.
Oh, no, that dude's golden.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sort of cool that he's down there in Arizona and close enough. And a lot of guys show up. Like, we'll do a local race. You'll look over and there'll be 51 and over expert will be like Gary Laurent and Jason, and there's a kid from Utah, everybody's a kid still,
Right.
that comes down, Jed, that rides for S&M, and we go out, we dice it up pretty good, and actually there's a handful of guys here that are like NAG 1, 2, and 3 type of guys, Eric Sweets, and some of these guys that are like 51 and over, like locally, Turnell Henry still races, and guys like that.
Wow.
You go out to the local races, they'll wear you out.
Oh, sure. Wow.
So
That's an impressive list.
Just to interject, Heath says whole shot.
Yes, thank you, Heath. Whole shot, thanks. Could you go ahead, Melissa?
I was going to say, can we ask Tracer about his infamous photo?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, we want to get that covered for sure. Let's do that before we forget something.
Yes.
I don't know who wants to ask, but
Go ahead, Melissa. I'm finding it right now, hon.
Okay.
It's in the very beginning of the script. Okay, so you are pretty infamous for this particular picture. Do you want to kind of tell us about what happened? I'm sure most people have seen it or will see it. We have a photo of it, right?
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
And tell us how it came about and what happened. And it was in your Hall of Fame speech, so.
Yeah, that was so cool that they keyed in on that, because it all sort of comes full circle, because the bottom line, my dad was my sponsor, and CW sort of put me on the map, and I've gotten in a few magazines jumping,
right
but
there.
just Levi's and not really that iconic of stuff, just cool shots. Great photographers always gave me like John Carr and Dean Bradley gave me a chance. And Osborne, I was never in BMXA, BMX Action Magazine ever, not even in the background. And it was because I was racing in Levi's with a family jersey on,
not
that I
flashy
bought
enough,
at the motorcycle shop.
Yeah, gotcha.
And he said, "You don't look pro. You don't look. We're presenting something here." So,
so that was
we had
Bob
talked and
Osborne.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mike Miranda, who's just golden, got me on that original or sort of second wave of CW team, and started racing a little better. And Bob Osborne took the opportunity to go, okay, now that you're dressed the part, let's do some shots. And he came to Vegas, and we were going to jump into Caesar's Fountain, sort of tried to do something cool, and reenacting the Evel Knievel jump, and it just looked hokey. He felt, it just looked like we were trying to recreate a cool photo. We weren't getting a ton of air. It just wasn't epic, And so my dad and I had always talked about jumping the piano on stage as part of his show, because I worked his show ever since I was a kid. And even when I was racing, I'd work his show and run spotlight and things. So we had already talked about it, and we had dinner and said, let's just do this. And I think we were all having dinner together, and my dad was at the Union Plaza, and we just rolled out the piano onto Fremont Street and just did it. Like, we didn't have any crowd control. We stopped all the traffic, and set that thing up and jumped a couple times, and people thought it was some kind of a film shoot, or Vegas or Dantana or something, and we just had no idea what it was going to turn into, and it turned out to be a really good shot. And they used it for it turned out to be pretty iconic. So I'm pretty blessed that worked out.
We're pulling up right now.
And that was a full-size piano, like a vaudeville full-size piano, just wheeled it right out. And
yeah, that was actually that's the one he plays in the show. And how many parents will let you screw a 4x8 sheet of plywood into the back of their living the musical instrument.
I know. Good on your dad, like, for sure. That's pretty crazy, I think.
Yeah, he was the ride your bike in the house, jump your bike in the pool kind of dad.
So is he actually in the picture playing the piano or sitting at the keys?
He's sitting at the piano, yeah. And then if you see my stepmom's on the left,
yeah,
and the girl on the banjo, who actually, if you look close, has a cast on, was my brother's girlfriend. At the time. So it was definitely a family. You know what? That was almost like a family photo.
It does appear that way. And that was in front of the Union Plaza, the Union Plaza Hotel. And that was where the Mickey Finn show was at, or what? How'd you pick that hotel? Okay.
Yeah, and if you notice, the reader on there says Mickey Finn show. That actually flashed, and we did the jump a couple of times. We did the jump twice, and that was the shot that looked. You could see the fear in my eyes, and it was real. It was gnarly. I had no idea how far I was going to go. Landing in the street to flat, crashing my brains out, and then we did it again, and it just didn't look as epic. So we went with this shot. And
so this was take one.
Yeah, that's the cool part about it is it is. I got a lot of mileage for doing something that most of my friends would have tried. Most of my friends are jumpers and stuff, so most of them could do it, but the whole combination of the show and Fremont Street and Vegas and being a team rider for CW, all sort of came together right there, and I, sort of made the shot exponential. That's for sure.
I gotta ask, how was that landing? Was it rough, or it had to be?
Yeah, that one was I don't know if you heard earlier. I said I've had both knees replaced, and if you'd say this is the start of it, that would be an understatement.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of impact.
And if people are asking questions about stuff, you'll never, ever, ever hear any of my buddies. Like you talk about Daryl Young and you go, oh man, that dude's so smooth, or this guy's so fast, or you'll never, ever hear somebody go, oh, Tracer? Oh, yeah, that dude was smooth.
Not in your
I was a garage sale waiting to happen. That's for sure. I was just lucky to be a part of that.
You weren't headed program for that Dr. Smooth nickname, huh? That was going to be saved for.
That's it. That kind of sounds like one of those go big or go home moments right there.
That's funny you say that, because I have some signed jerseys. You'll have to check out my garage sometimes. I have some neat collections of riders that I've always looked up to, and badasses, and like guys like Chet Kagi and TJ, guys that can take a hit and keep going.
Yeah,
right.
And those are the guys that aren't scared. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the Union Plaza Hotel is also infamous to some of our team here. Our one of our big sponsors, Mr. T-Bone himself, and his beautiful bride Darlene were married there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not sure how many years ago, but yeah. So they have very fond memories of the Plaza, as it's known today, right?
The Plaza. Is that it?
Yeah. Well, Fremont Street was pretty rocking back then. I mean, it was a place to do it. That's for sure. It was a good backup plan.
And today is some of the best people watching I've ever encountered.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I put my wallet in my front pocket nowadays.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But the well, and on top of like the artisans that are there, and then just some of the people trying to do some really interesting things. It's a must see if you ever go to Vegas. Must hit up Fremont Street.
That's the fun thing about Vegas and BMX is that we always had nationals here, and people always showed up, and then I got to see my friends even after you only race. It's like almost like a blink of an eye. By the time you really figure out how cool it is, you're 19 years old and paying bills, and because they always had nationals here, I kept in touch with all my racing friends, and we, to this day, up until this year, everybody's coming here twice a year for South Point Nationals, and I get to see everybody and
That's awesome.
ride with some of the old guys, and it's a good time.
Could you give us a few highlights of your garage? Could you take us on a little tour?
Sure.
I know.
Let's
I know.
see.
We're talking with you yesterday. You just have some amazing things. I don't even know
Yeah,
where
let
you
me turn on
start.
the lights.
Shoot. I almost think we need to make a road trip and go out there and do a show.
Yeah.
From
Oh,
his
what
garage,
a great
right?
idea!
Yeah, we're gonna go when it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ATB on location come October. Oh no, we're busy in October. How about
No,
well,
like
Grant's
January,
in November.
January, February.
January
when
would
it's
be
really
good.
cold.
What's what? Oh,
Remember, TJ?
Oh, yeah.
TJ said he had always had a backup bike.
That's his backup, huh?
There's
Wow.
like TJ's backup bike from the last time he rode at Gravity Games, and then this is my ceiling, by the way. And
I was
then-
just gonna say. I wanted to
looks like
clarify
it,
that this is the ceiling. Yeah.
And then you sort of move over, and that RO jerseys. Ryan Nyquist gave me that when he won Dirt X Games in LA. I worked on his bike, and he gave me his jersey for helping him out. And then sort of Connor's stuff. I think Connor. That's one of Connor's old bikes, and he's always been good to me.
Wow.
And that's one of his.
Well, he's a
that's
Vegas
one
local,
of his
right?
first chases. And then every part on that bike is, let's see, sort of every part on that bike is his except the back wheel. And then he's always, we gave me the grips from London.
Oh,
I don't know. So,
wow.
yeah. And then it just, if I just go around, like,
Holy
some
moly.
CW stuff and plates and some of the original like team stuff,
number
like
plates
custom
are
bikes.
huge.
Yeah.
This is sort of cool. This shot right here, the one we jump in the piano, the signatures on that are just epic with like Haro and Hoffman and Dennis McCoy and Blyther and real riders signed that. It was at an event.
That is priceless right there.
I don't know. There's some star stuff, like show business stuff, Sinatra, and things I got to work with. And this is actually sort of cool from the Track Operators Summit. I don't know if I'm getting this very good for you.
Oh yeah, no, it's
good.
coming through fine.
Yeah. And this is this spring fling we did in 2018. They let me come down and be on their little guest list, and it was epic. And I'm a fan, so I got everybody on the picture to sign this because I'm a fan of these guys. It's Hoffman and of course Eddie King and Buff and Haro and Lonkarovich, and I'm that kid that has all that stuff. And then here's sort of my wall of like just full shots and magazine things. And my wife made this cabinets so I can have everything out in front of it. And this is sort of neat. It's I worked on the Kasten and Haro bike in '95 when that came out, and Tim Roden and I helped launch that. And there's actually some real
trying to get there.
drawings from Bob Haro on there.
That's
And
insane.
Oh wow.
they're of the
Original blueprints, huh?
plot. Yeah, so just stuff from
I mean,
all over.
just stuff to some people, but that's quite a collection to others.
Oh, yeah, some of my parents' albums.
Oh, neat.
The records are inside, but just the album sleeves, and like every kid, every participation plaque from all over.
Yep.
So I try and keep everything I can. Oh, here's this one's. These are really important. Like this is Keith Mulligan took this shot, and it's Stephen Murray when he won Gravity, and then just some like stuff TJ gave me when we were, long time ago. So just been and here's your wonderful. This is from the 2014 Hall of Fame induction, and your Deanna Edwards there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Give
so
her a little shout out.
She was wonderful. So a lot of this stuff is, for me, or for us BMX kids, it's neat to have this stuff still.
Oh, that is some really neat stuff you got going on there. That is cool as can be.
You gonna address that, Justin?
Yeah, got a couple of people in the chat wanting to say hi. The Houston BMX show, Rusty Dow, he chimed in, and it's the first time joining our show, so thank you for checking us out this evening. And he said,
cool, Rusty Dow.
Yeah, he said Tracer's great, and lots of compliments on the museum, aka your garage.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty awesome. Very busy night up there. Of course, T-Bone. You want to ask that question from Brian, Melissa?
Oh, yeah, I intended to get to that.
Perfect.
Yeah, so our sponsor, T-Bone, is wondering, because it's his thing, if you've ever gotten very involved in playing poker in Vegas.
No. Video poker.
Ah,
But
okay. Just leisurely, not monetarily trying to gain.
you know what? I would have to say this is not a poker face.
Yeah, I got one of those too. I'm with you. 100%.
For sure. Yeah. That's.
But what I did want to say though is, this looking up at this Hall of Fame thing. It was, I was on that ballot for 19 years, and just to be in that group where they, you sort of make the top 10 or whatever, you end up on the list still. Mm-hmm. Every year I was pretty happy, and they split it up, and it ended up going the pioneering route, and it worked out, and I blessed to have gotten that call. And it was actually Gork and Shannon together made the call. And just because they knew I'd just be flipped out. And you know how you guys are all, a lot of the people I followed, you guys caught my interest because you have so much effort into your track operators and the people that have done it. And so when that happened for me, nothing against my parents or anything, because I just got done telling you how cool my whole upbringing was, but I actually didn't tell my parents first. I called our track operator from 1976, he pulled over. He was driving, and I had him pull over, and I told him and thanked him for all he did for us kids, because when you're an 11-year-old kid with rock star parents that are not home until 4 a.m, and you have all free reign in Vegas, you sort of count on other parents and people of authority to steer you right. And I was lucky enough to be steered into this family of their Bob Williams is his name. And so when he came to the Hall of Fame dinner with this family, it was just epic. So that, to me, that's one of the reasons why I appreciate what you guys do so much, is so many of your top cats are track operators and the people out there volunteering and putting the time into the kids, because that's huge. There's 4 tracks here in Vegas now, and man, every one of them works their rear end off.
Thank you.
Well, and I think that
awesome.
You hit the nail on the head when you say volunteer. Like, that's a voluntary role. So when a TO takes on that huge responsibility, and all those kids and just planning and putting things out there, they're doing that for the love of the sport. They're not getting money from that. They're not getting any fame or rich or anything like that. So I think it makes sense that was kind of one of the top people that you would think back on when you, after, did you say 19 years?
Yes.
Is that a record? Because that seems like a really blessed long time to wait for something that seems so very deserved.
No, it was, I was in the racer category, and I didn't even compete with those guys. They were, I wasn't a big title guy, but when they started splitting it up, the when it first, it's really funny because this circles back to TJ, is that once I started racing for Nick Herda, he took a half-page ad in ABA Action Magazine to say vote for me for the Hall of Fame in 1995, and that sort of put me back on the radar. And you gotta wait. There's 1,000 guys that deserve it, and there's 100 that should be in, and there's only so many that get to. So I was okay, and then going in, I'm not giving it back. That's
No. Congratulations on
way.
your accomplishment. You got there, just like everybody else puts in their time.
That was a good. It was really cool. And Nick Herda's in the Hall of Fame for what he did. He had national #1 team. He had national #1 amateur rider. Just Brandon Meadows won the amateur title on a appliance store sponsor, and he was so loyal, that kid. Yeah. So if you really think about it, a lot of that connection, Nick's really not quite back in the scene anymore, but you look around and there's some people that pulled the trigger on quite a few careers around here, and you always want to give them props.
Very nice.
That is cool.
Hey, we are going to come back and talk some more about your Hall of Fame. First, before that, we're going to go listen to our friend, Mr. Jeremy Ames, who, as we warned, you could be an upcoming Jeremy Ames voicemail piece. So the rumor is he's going to try to do some videos. So that'll
really?
hang tight. Those could be.
Boy.
I've saw some of the stuff he does. It is hilarious. He puts it on his own Facebook and just random. Yeah. So that'll be a good time. But without further ado, this is Jeremy Ames' voicemail.
Hey, Justin, it's Jeremy calling you back. I was at work earlier when you called. Hey, I listened to your voice message, and I do appreciate the offer of the hot tub scenario with you guys, but I'm really trying to change my ways and better my life, and I just don't think it would be appropriate. Definitely flattered. You said a lot of odd sexual things in the message, but I take it as nothing but flattery. So I thank you, but I'm unfortunately going to have to turn that down. All right, one love, brother. Take care.
What was that?
What the dude?
What was that?
That's a normal voicemail.
That's a normal
Yeah.
voicemail. That's a standard everyday one. That wasn't special for the show.
It was. I'm like going. Wait a minute.
I don't even have words.
Well,
you weren't supposed to call him.
No, but I did call him. So there you guys have it. That's a genuine random voicemail from that guy. Like
Thank you, Jeremy.
No weird voice, nothing.
You got to preface it. We don't listen to this before the show.
That would be no fun.
We listen to like the first, maybe 5 seconds to make sure we get it queued up at the beginning. And we don't know what it's going to be until it comes out like that.
I don't.
Mr. Vincent's calling for a hot tub dance party.
Oh, Jesus.
You guys got a hot tub?
I don't. It's not anything like yours. Ours is an inflatable. Shit, dude. Yours has got a sauna on one end and.
You tried, Chris.
I was trying.
God, you tried. You tried, Chris.
Infinity pool and TVs that come up and. Jesus. Well,
I tried.
We got him.
It was A for effort.
I don't know.
I just didn't know there was a hot tub around this joint.
Back room.
Back room. All right, got it, Jason.
Wow.
Behind that curtain over there.
That's it. It's over there.
It's the door behind the door.
Wow. We're gonna move into our.
Justin's still trying to figure out what the heck that voicemail was.
I'm like waiting for a weird voice from him. I don't know.
Yeah, it was too actually.
We're gonna move into our news, rumors, and gossips, and as always.
Hey, Justin.
I don't, dude. I'm still. It's It's in each of the segments. So
Oh my goodness.
this week we got Tracer. Feel free to jump in on our news from around the way here, and you're going to see a little different look here. So coming up next week, one of our friends, we're going to have Moto 2.
Moto 2.
Moto 2, because I don't think we're still going to get done. So,
No, I don't either.
Mr. Larry.
man, Harry Larry's going to be on next Wednesday, and he was on the one of our Friday shows that we were doing, back in the when we first started,
Yeah,
and
like what?
that was a 4. Well, no,
No, it was 3.
3
It
hours
was a straight 3
plus.
interview, yeah.
I don't remember how long we talked.
After the
show.
show,
After
we were
the
still
show.
talking. Oh my gosh.
And we realized, like, on the show in 3 hours, we got to the 80s. No,
90s, I think.
right at the beginning of the
Early
90s. And
90s.
it's much like yourself, Tracer, you're going to have to come back and join us again so we can kind of talk
yes.
more.
For sure.
Harry's so competitive. And some of the stuff he said about, everybody is an amazement about how many covers. Ask him how many covers. That'd be a good question. How many covers of magazines he's had?
Mm-hmm.
And that dude,
I think he
built,
knows that.
built the jumps. Did this? I mean, the stories I've heard from all different sources is really pretty amazing. He did it right.
We will definitely get that question asked. So,
Oh, well, the chat's calling you out on the 3-hour after show.
yeah, didn't it go to 4?
Sean said 4 a.m.
Yeah, we got done. It was 4 in the morning after talking. Well, and him,
That's with
Billy said poor guy had to go eat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Harry's like, I got to go eat, man. But for him, it was
It was 3 hours
midnight.
early.
It would
Yeah, it
have
was
been
only
like
midnight, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, because
somewhere
he's
there.
over in Arizona.
We were on with him for like 6 and a half
it was
hours.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. But and he'll be back.
I had to go to bed. I had to bow out at some point. I was like, I gotta go to bed, man.
My wife was yelling at me, like, get off the damn computer. You gotta work in the morning.
So,
Jason's wife was yelling at him.
So we'll be sure to make sure all you guys come back, join us, and we've got other guests we're lining up. And of course, as we said, Tracer will be back again for Moto 2.
For sure.
Our next bit of information is going to take us over to the ATB land
All right.
on the gate. You want to let them know how many we got left?
Okay, so real quick, if you have any news, rumors, or gossip you want to share with the show, email us at allthingsbmxshow@gmail.com. If you have any birthdays, something going on at your track, Pro-Am, something like that, give us a call. Give us an email.
You can call.
They can call.
There's a phone number on the page.
Go on Facebook if you need to call. There's a phone number on our Facebook page. And also, again, make sure you subscribe to YouTube, please. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel, and we're trying to get hits on there and algorithm and all that stuff. So if you guys want to help us kind of get more on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. All right, moving on. This week,
We got how many
have
spots
our-
left on our gate raffle?
I think there's only a few left. I don't know the exact number.
12.
12? Oh, is it 12? Okay.
12.
All right, exactly
All right.
12.
Yeah. We got
Come
12
on, people.
left.
We need you to buy those spots. Let's go. 12 left.
there's
And then we
12
can draw
left.
for this amazing gate.
Tracer
And it
bought a
comes
couple.
with lights.
It has.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Thank you, Tracer. We
Yeah.
appreciate your support.
Yep. And our
It's-
next bit of information is going to take us into the we're plugging our product here. It's
The mask
the
game.
masks, all
I
right?
was going to
Mask
say,
game.
if you want to find out more about the gate, it's at the Facebook page.
Oh, yeah, I got
It's
it
the
pinned right to the top, yep.
of the Facebook page. It's $20 for a shot at this awesome gate.
Yeah.
By our friends at Wildcat and Michigan Wild BMX.
And then we got the masks from our friends here from T-Bone's on this with us and ATB. Look, we don't necessarily like wearing these things, and we're doing our part to help. And we've got the masks. You can get them shipped to you for $12. If you see us at an event, we'll save you the $2 shipping, and you can grab them for $10.
I got to say, they're really comfortable. They're stretched, like spandex type stretching.
Yeah.
I wear mine all the time now because it's just a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
Was that cough on cue?
I think it was. It was.
Okay, just checking.
Total was.
It was pretty impressive.
We'll ship you out a couple, Tracer.
Yeah.
Yeah, look how excited he's not.
It's like, bro, I live in Vegas.
I do what I. You know what's funny is I have one from Vegas Locals, and it has the logo on it, and I wear that. I'd rather wear one from BMX than anything else.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Promote
Now,
what you can.
Our next little bit of news here is our new segment that we do. It's Talking TO, and we did the first episode of this. So these are mini episodes where we're featuring TOs. Dan and Barney were awesome, super patient as we nailed this out. This isn't something that goes live. It's pre-recorded, which was funny because we took like 90 takes to do this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, those two
That's
guys.
Justin's fault, though.
Well, yeah. Those two guys are just nonstop comedy. They were so much fun.
Trying to get the three of them together.
So
to
are you
coordinate
saying
was
there's a blooper reel maybe?
Oh my God.
There should have been.
Yeah. So if if you're a TO or president or something and you want to get your word out of an event, some product or something, hit us up. This is a quick, easy way to get your word out. And look, people watch videos more than they're going to see that, stop and read a post on your social media. So we send it out and you can share it to all your social media. And, these guys did their big weekend coming up this weekend, and it was a lot of fun and real quick, real easy. So, yeah.
So we want to talk about that real quick.
What?
Their event.
No, I want people to go see the video on our Facebook page.
Yeah, go. Okay, I'm sorry.
That is the point of the video, Chris.
Or they can go to Higher Park or Fort Wayne. They can go to us.
Well, that's what I was going to hit
it
the
out,
basics
guys.
of it. Yeah, check them
There you
out.
go.
Higher Park, Fort Wayne BMX. They got a big event going on this weekend with some money opens.
We're not going to
Go
tell
check
you.
it out.
We're not going to tell you. You can go watch the video.
That's it. I'm done. Moving right along.
We're done spoon feeding. Dang
All
it.
right. So,
where are we going next?
moving on up.
We're going to the birthdays.
Dylan.
So, a new
okay, moving
expert, and it's actually one of our sponsors, Kid. So, shout out to Gate 9.
Billy, you better be listening.
You better be listening, Billy.
Yeah, you better be on there, Billy.
Big Dill got the move.
Cannot do that.
I totally stole that from his mom's Facebook page.
I know, but I just can't.
Big Dill.
Big Dill. Moving on up.
That's going to stick now like that kid has no idea.
It's literally going to stick.
It is. Yeah. Congratulations. He put some really good laps down as an expert there as he
That
debuted.
kid's kicking butt, taking
He
some
is.
names.
So awesome job, man. Congratulations from everybody here.
Yep.
You're going to do
For sure.
we'll do the event down there at Capital City Family BMX
For Sergeant's turn.
for Trooper. You got it, or you need it?
No, it's not in the news because you didn't give me any of that stuff. babe.
So we got a big benefit coming up at Capital City, which we just had our state race at. This is an event for Trooper Caleb, who was fatally injured, hit by a drunk driver. And they're going to have a race. We're taking money, donating it, but some other stuff they just put in, and we didn't even get it on this post because it came in, is they're going to have a money race. And they got some really neat things built into that money race to help Caleb's family. Yeah, they're going to be doing 50-50 silent auctions. We got some stuff we kicked over to them. So
please go check out their Facebook page, Capital City Family BMX.
Yes, please do.
And get over there if you can hit the race, too.
Yeah. You want to do birthdays?
Oh,
No,
where
he
are
doesn't.
those?
He doesn't. They're not in the script because Justin does it after.
I
do
like
the
to keep
script.
you guys on your toes.
All right. I know.
It's birthday.
He was aging up.
Beast Mode is in the chat, and it's his birthday today.
And he's on there even with his beast mode name.
I can't read that from here,
that?
so you're on your own.
Oh, we can just go full screen on it.
Oh, my goodness. I can't see that at all.
Well, I can. So good thing I got my glasses on.
Help us out. Help us out there,
So
buddy.
happy.
The old man of the group is finally going to read something.
Here we go. We have Taryn Hansen, a friend from up at TC. Happy birthday. Derek Sipico, happy birthday. Tom Thorne, Chris, a.k.a. the history man himself. Jeffrey celebrating his birthday. Beast Mode, Tony Mallory. Michael Noble from up there in the Marquette track. And then we have Greg Days. He's an ex-vet pro from Michigan. Joel Britton, him and I race pretty much every weekend we race. Him and I are in the same class. Adam Stein, TJ Pabin, Kelly Medler, that's Chris's sister. And last but definitely not least.
Not last.
Why?
Because you're missing one.
Terry Tennant. Almost forgot him, but we are saving.
And wait, one more.
Who?
Jason Carnes.
We did him last week. That was why I didn't have it this week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Whose
his birthday
is
yesterday.
Friday, Justin?
Mama Nadine's. That is Melissa's mom, who will come to the house, be like, how's Justin's office look? And then come down here and she's like, what the hell is all these curtains hung up? There's lights down there. I don't know what you guys are doing.
TVs all over.
Yeah, TVs
boards.
It's like, what the heck?
I feel like Mama's imagination might get the best of her sometimes.
But happy birthday, Mom. And,
happy birthday.
We'll do the heavy pedals part here for you.
Oh, and Zayden's birthday.
Zayden's birthday
was Monday too. I had those in the script. But...
well, we had him last week because we went through.
Oh, but you were too early then, though.
We were.
Okay.
All right.
Well, happy birthday, Zayden.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, everybody. So, are we heading to Heavy Pedals now?
Yes.
All right, Heavy Pedals. 3rd edition is out now. We've been talking about that for a few weeks now. Make sure you head over to heavypedals.com. Get your copy of the magazine. It's $6. Also, check out all their T-shirts over there. They've got several different T-shirts. They got the poster back here that we're going to put in our prize pack tonight for the trivia question. So check that out. It's dirt jumping, racing, park riding. He's got all different BMX stuff in there. So go check that out. Find him on Facebook. And again, heavypedals.com.
Yeah.
And
here we go.
We're gonna.
All right. So before we get into
Jeff Schroeder aged up.
He did?
He just put in the chat that he moved up to 5660 cruiser.
Oh, snap.
Oh, that's competitive class.
It is.
It sure is.
Well, good luck, Mr. Beast Mode.
He's going to get lumped in with Dennis.
Yeah.
That'll be a good race.
Dennis will have some.
Yeah, he is.
Something for him, eh?
So before we move into our trivia, I want to say again, thank you, Tracer, for coming on and hopefully coming back. Everybody knows that. Jesus. Hey, guess what? In Michigan, there's some state races this weekend, but everybody knows that. I can tell you, especially after the shit show today. So, yeah, there's state
most
races.
people don't know about the shit show, though.
Well, it's not official according to Paul, so we can't.
So
it's not official.
Let's just say real quick: Can-Am Saturday, Waterford
God damn it,
Oaks Sunday.
Chris! You can't say that.
Why?
Anyway, moving on to trivia.
Sorry.
It's kind of part of what might change.
Okay.
Before we do that, though, Tracer, thank you so much for joining us and for bringing TJ on. And looking forward for you coming back. We want to make sure you get your time to say who you'd like to say thanks to and give your shout-outs.
Well, boy, just to everybody that's been so cool, like the track operators for us, start out like my parents, my wife who puts up with a BMX garage like this, going to events when all we do is talk about tire pressure. We talked about this last week.
Yeah, kudos to the wives out there. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, for all of us that are out there moto, bench racing, we appreciate the people that put up with it. So for me, that's a lot of the support has been the family and friends that have always been around and sponsored and been cool, and actually all my teammates that we still we had a reunion, CW reunion down last year, and it's great to get everybody together before we're all too old to travel and forget our stories. So that's a big deal. Everybody keep getting together and reaching out to your BMX family.
Nice. Well, we're certainly not done. It is our favorite segment here with Melissa. It is trivia time. So you guys, hope you were paying attention. Melissa, how many packets are we giving away?
I got two questions.
All right.
Yes.
So it's Melissa's trivia question.
Aw, your wife is so cute in the chat. You're going to have to go back and read that, Tracer. She's making me blush over here. All right, first trivia question will be a Tracer question for a T-Bone t-shirt and a skull cap and a sticker package. I want to know the name, and Tracer, don't say it, the name of the hotel of which he jumped his famous piano picture.
And
clear my chat here.
We're gonna make sure we add in a couple of the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's
we got
a good
those.
call.
Oh, yeah.
Here, let me hold them up there.
And there's a heavy pedals poster that'll get popped into these too.
Yeah, there we go. So these are the Mickey Finn stickers that Tracer was talking about, and we're gonna put those bad boys in the gift packs.
All right, Brian, do you really want to win your
awesome.
own package?
Yeah, how is Brian? Brian got married there,
Dude.
All right, Mr.
Yeah.
Gerald Vincent,
Yes.
Union Plaza Hotel.
All right, we
Gerald,
got a winner.
Send me your mailing address and we'll get that out to you.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Because I'm not sending it to you, T-Bone. You got enough of this crap around your house.
Yeah, he's the one that gave it. He's the one that gave it to us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't want it back.
All right. So, the second question for an additional T-Bone package here, I got some kid-sized jerseys and a T-shirt and stickers and a Heavy Pedals poster. I'm going to clear my chat here. Would like to know what was TJ's first bike that he rode.
Ooh, I remember.
Don't say it out loud.
Oh,
Don't
can
say
I
it out
win?
loud.
Can I
That's a
win?
great
You
question.
cannot win. You
That was
cannot
good.
win.
You had to listen to that.
Yeah, he just mentioned it kind of in passing, and then we kept going. But
I do have a
was a
question.
good
Do
call.
they need the
I need
brand
the
name and the
yes,
model?
the whole name.
So we don't
Good
just
call.
need the brand name. We need the model.
So Billy, you don't win.
Oh, Billy's out. Billy can't win. Billy can't win.
You got
Come on.
the first part.
Yeah, I'm
Randall,
looking
you
forward to your little snippets there, Melissa. I always get a kick out of your double entendres and funny, clever comebacks.
I appreciate
like
that.
Steve Everett got it.
Did he?
Yeah.
He did. Yes, Mr. Everett got. It was a Mongoose Menace, was what I was looking for.
That was all chromoly bike. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day,
Yeah,
those are
and
all
then
chrome mollies. Yeah.
Mr. Chang was right behind him. So, Steve, send me your address, please. Message or email the show, and we'll get that stuff out to you guys. Thank you so much.
So,
Congratulations.
little tidbit about Steve. He's a Vegas local.
Yes, true.
He is.
Does he have kids?
I don't know.
I might need to
We
switch
could
up
ask. We could ask
I
him.
might just to switch up my gift package.
Oh, yeah,
He
and
won't, this might not fit him.
no, well,
No, he's a pretty big dude.
Yeah, no, this
That
is
would
the
li-
kids version
that
here,
would-
people.
Half shirts are coming back.
I was gonna, yeah,
Half
that
shirts
would
are
be.
coming back.
I feel like this wouldn't even be like a half shirt.
Bro, have you saw how big his arms are? Like, I don't think his arm could fit. Like, he's
That's what I
Yeah.
said. He's a big dude. Man.
I'll switch it up for you, Steve, but send me your address.
And I was thinking about that, Tracer. You know, Steve was our very first guest that we had when we did the mobile show.
Oh, that's right. Over at Rock City Indoor. Yeah.
Man, we used to tear down the whole studio, pack this thing, back it up, and took
haul it all the
it to
way
the
over.
racetrack and set it up. Lights, canopy. Jason had like a 90-inch TV we stole from the indoor, and it weighed about 300 pounds. We had this whole. Oh my God!
We had
200-foot extension cord.
Oh yeah.
we had PA speakers
Yup,
and the
yeah, oh,
whole.
God, we
trying to
thought-
do this whole live and.
Hey, we have come a long way.
Yeah,
Kudos to us.
It took like 2.5 hours to set up, and then we keep working on it. And now it's a GoPro and some wireless microphones. It's crazy. Like, I look back, we had what 5 totes we took for that thing.
Yeah,
It was fun.
Are
and,
we
and
gonna-
like 4 cartloads.
Are
Yeah.
we gonna do something like that this weekend, or is that
sure,
okay?
you can set it up.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, so you're Vegas
Wait,
local.
if you want it to work,
Right, well-
not me.
Your Vegas local was one of the very first guests on our mobile podcast show. Very cool. Melissa, do you have?
Yeah, those job with that program.
Say that again.
Oh, I was just saying that those guys that run that team now just do a great job.
Yeah.
It started out just as old guys, and now there's 8-year-olds that can jump the triples one-handed, pointing their finger at you. It's amazing. These kids nowadays. It's started out for fun, and now it's quite formidable team.
Well,
yes.
That's the jersey we have back here, right?
Yeah.
The Vegas locals,
Yeah.
right? So if you guys want a shot at that.
Vegas locals.
Mm-hmm.
What is the evil pie? Not spelled right. I'm guessing.
Wait.
Chips on there are great. You know how we had talked about outside sponsors and BMX?
Yeah.
What a big deal it is. Well, these guys went out. There's a tattoo parlor. There's a pizza place, which is what better to sponsor kids than a pizza place?
For sure.
And the place
That's
has
brilliant.
evil memorabilia all over. You eat there. And,
Oh, that's why it's
the
spelled
founder
evil like that.
has a
Okay.
band, and it's just good stuff. Like real sponsors that are community sponsors, and bike industry. It's tough to raise money, but you get a pizza place and make sure you frequent it, or tattoo place. That's good stuff. That's people paying our bills for the team.
For sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's how we did it.
Gerald was right on that. Evel Knievel themed pizza joint. That sounds fun.
You don't get credit for the trivia,
Yes.
though, buddy.
No.
They even have the jumping game where you jump the buses. It goes screen to screen, and then it's a pretty neat play.
Well, now we've got another place to check out when we go to Vegas, and
that's on the
we'll
Vegas
visit the
list.
garage, and then we'll go see the Evel Knievel themed pizza place.
Yep.
Pizza's on me.
Oh, thank you.
Love
Awesome.
it.
Well, Melissa, do we have anything before we sign off, anything in the chat? Any questions lingering or comments in
No, I
there?
think we're all caught up.
Nice. Again, Tracer, thanks. Really appreciate it. Had a great time. Can't wait for you to come back, and look forward to what guest you're going to pull out of your magic hat for the next time you're on here.
Right.
Vegas is full of quality riders. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
For sure.
that was your
Few
tease.
title holders.
There's your teaser.
For sure.
Please hang out in the Zoom here for a second. We're going to sign off. If you guys want to come in and ask Tracer a question, we'll be posting the link for the Zoom room for you guys to come in and ask him some questions. We look forward to hearing from you guys and seeing you guys from all of us here.
Cool.
Chris?
All right. So, again, thank you, Tracer. Thank you, TJ Lavin, for stopping by. And we want to make sure everybody's following us on Facebook, subscribe to YouTube, check us out on Twitter, Instagram, all the places you can catch the show. If you have any information for the show, all things BMX show at gmail.com. Make sure you check us out next week. We're going to have Harry Larry on for part 2. Also, what else do I need to hit in here? I think I covered it all.
Can I just say thank you to everybody in the chat who's been so complimentary. They've really enjoyed the show and just kind of keep giving us kudos. And we are still continuing to love what we do and having a great time. And we appreciate the feedback. So thank you.
For sure. Also, we can ask a favor of everybody in the chat. Share the show so all your friends can find out about it. Please share our show with your friends on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're going to getting the show from. Share. Again, thank you everybody for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening. God bless everybody.
What up, Debbie?